Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Good Thursday. And yes, nothing to see here again is the order of the day. The Secret Service comes up dry. I mean, what are we supposed to do? We have all this video footage. If you've been to the White House on one of those tours, now, when I broadcast from there, I remember fingerprints were involved. I don't think you get fingerprints probably to do the tour, but you do have to give a lot of documentation, a lot of information. How hard could it be, or they can't see someone placing cocaine somewhere or something suspicious like that? They don't want to see. That's how to advance here. So I have a poll up on Twitter at DomShow1210. Are they more lying, the Secret Service, or are they more incompetent that cocaine can get in there in the first place? And I'll tell you periodically throughout the show how that goes. But that is a breaking news. And think about it. No DNA, no fingerprinting samples with these geniuses. We saw yesterday Christopher Wray. I wonder what he would have said about it. How likely is that in the middle of the summer? Was someone walking around with gloves on? Isn't that about the only way they wouldn't leave some identifier, either DNA, fingerprinting, something here with the coke that's involved? They have concluded their cocaine investigation. It's just, now usually I suspect incompetency, and I still do with this. I'm not enamored with the Secret Service. We've seen they've gone downhill too over the last 20, 25 years. The more that we know about them, all kinds of things have gone on there. It's kind of funny, though. Gallup today has out. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the local Kennedy Democrats, they call themselves, disavowing Robert Kennedy Jr. He's a Kennedy. You know, we don't like him taking the name. He's a Kennedy. You're not. What are they afraid of? We know what they're afraid of. The guy's making inroads. The goofball crystal woman from Oprah, Marianne Williamson, is at 8 or 9% in Democrat polls. When you want a crystal lady, a goofball.
Is she really back again?
Yes.
Oh, man.
She's doing much better than the last time. When you want someone like that more than Joe Biden, you know, at least she can do crystals. She can read your palm. She can do all that stuff. And she gets all fired up like she's a legitimate person in any way, shape, or form for anything when interviewed on this. All right. But Gallup puts out every year Americans' confidence in institutions. Now, a lot of people are attacking how low this has gone. How am I supposed to trust the Secret Service? There's no DNA, no fingerprints found on the Coke bag.
Come on.
How's that possible? All the videoing in the world, all the cameras, all the stuff that goes on there.
Is there a more surveilled building in the entire country than the White House?
There might be, but I doubt it.
Yeah,
or it's got to be equal.
I mean, how
much? Yeah, how much more?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And particularly near the Situation Room.
Yeah.
And then we're lectured throughout this. We can't say Hunter Biden. I'm going to say Hunter Biden 100 times during the show. Jimmy Matthews, write it down. Former crack addict. Now I'm going to say crack addict, yeah, because as far as I'm told, with the 12-step program, once a crack addict, always a crack addict. Doesn't mean he's definitely doing it. It just means he is.
And once a president, always a president.
Same thing.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, so we don't know that it's him, but of course we're going to say this. We're frustrated with this nonsense, both incompetency mixed in, which is sheer. We're going to lie. We're not going to tell you the truth. I mean, how in the world was that in there? There's got to be more to that. They're not going to release that. Now, they're telling various people, I guess, on the Intelligence Committee information on this. I'm sure some of that will get leaked, what the Secret Service angle is on it. But they concluded they can't do anything. You know what, then? You're all fired. Bring in another bunch of people. That's my theory on this. If you can't do something with this,
get them out. Get them out.
That's it. Then you're out. It's pretty obvious. Well, what do you want us to do with this? And they'll start, it'll say statistics. We looked at 9,000 feet of video on this. Maybe you should look at 10,000 then. They start all the statistics and all the rest of this. failure is the option. Failure is not only the option, failure is the only option. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be pretending that you're actually doing an investigation, but figuring out how you can screw it up. And given the screw up level around them, it's not that hard.
And you don't think with the optics at hand, if it wasn't Hunter Biden, they'd be rushing as fast as possible to say, hey, it wasn't Hunter's. We can at least rule Hunter out.
Well, yeah. Or maybe the theory is it's somebody else in the Biden administration, too. They're afraid of that, too. Yeah. So, okay.
Kamala?
I don't think so.
No.
She's natural. She's a word salad naturally. So Gallup asked people your confidence in the following. And the military used to be maybe around 80%. Your level of confidence in the military. I don't have confidence in the military right now, not because of the men and women serving, Dan, but because of what we've learned, all the nonsense they're engaging in. So I'd be in no confidence in the military. Am I allowed to say that? I think I just did. Do you have confidence in the military?
Portions of the military.
Okay. Yeah. Limited. Okay.
Yeah, it's limited. Yeah.
The institution that comes out on top is small business in the Gallup poll out today. There's only one thing, though. That's only at 65%. What problem do people have with small business? Only 65% had good confidence, in small business. The police are down to 43%. I have more confidence in the police than I do the military for the simple reason, well, in Philadelphia, I don't. That's true. Danielle Outlaw's there. Yeah, I don't have confidence in the Philadelphia police, given her leadership. The church or organized religion is at 32%. I don't have confidence in the Catholic Church. Why would I? Led by Pope Francis, led by the bishops in this country. What have they done that I could point to, the Catholic Church? What have they stood for? What have they been involved in that I recently would point to that makes me brim with confidence? All right. Which one do you think people have less confidence in, Dan? Because it's close. The public schools or organized labor?
More confidence in it? Organized labor.
It's close. No, only 25% have confidence in organized labor.
Huh.
The public schools are at 26%. Republicans, 9%. Who are those 9% of Republicans that have confidence in the public schools? I don't know what they're watching. Let's see. The lowest institution is Congress. They're at 8%. Criminal justice system is at 17%. Newspapers at 18%. TV news was in here. They're right down there at Congress. Okay, so which one of these would you have the most confidence in, and which do you have the least? 855-839-1210. I have confidence in small business. I don't see any reason not to. I'm not sure why that went down. The military, I told you why it went down. All right, yesterday, an institution that has been glamorized, J. Edgar Hoover did it, the FBI story on TV did it. G-men, government men. I'm here, I'm a G-man. Okay, remember all that? Here is Jeff Van Drew, though, and we have two cuts of this. He really tortured Christopher Wray yesterday, rightfully so. Jeff Van Drew, the congressman, is a dentist. I'm trying to remember what school. Was it Fairleigh Dickinson he went to? Some school like that for dentistry. So he brought up that he is a dentist with Christopher Wray, and he talked a lot about.
Dom, you're good. You went to Fairleigh Dickinson. You're
right.
I
remember. Yeah. When the guy says, "Hey, I'm a dentist," I'm in the middle of that. I don't forget. And he brought up a lot of pus analogies yesterday. With Christopher Wray. Here's a little bit of Andrew talking about being in the dental chair. I was thinking, hey, can we get Dr. Benson here to consult with Van Drew on what needs to be done with the FBI? Dental implants? No, they need that special 3D computers need to be used there. Here's Jeff Van Drew.
Believe it or not, I'm basically just a simple country dentist, but I do know my dentistry. And one thing I know about are abscesses. If you have an abscess, you can have a mild or moderate one, and you treat it with antibiotics and warm salt rinses, and in a week to 10 days, it'll be better. If you have a severe one, you've got to take a scalpel to that abscess. You've got to cut it open, and you've got to let the pus and the blood and the gas drain out.
Oh, look at Christopher Ray's hair.
That abscess will travel. It'll travel to the patient's brain, possibly, or to their heart, and it definitely can kill them. That's the type of infection that I feel is within the FBI today. It has gotten so deep that we need to get in there with a metaphorical scalpel before it kills our nation. We need real structural change, and this committee is that metaphorical scalpel.
All right. Now, he went on to do what you and I, listeners yesterday, a lot of people called in on this, and Van Drew really drilled on it. The big takeaway from this is Catholics. How these creeps in the FBI want to go after Catholics like Mark Howe, and how the bishops and others are mum on it. They don't say anything. What are they afraid of? Again, we go through this. Why are they bishops? Why are they cardinals? Why do they have any of that if they don't directly, like the Archbishop here, stand up and say, enough, I'm calling out the FBI. I'm talking over the Sunday altar. That's where it's needed to be done. Here's Van Drew, who I think says he's a Catholic. Christopher Wray is a Catholic. I bet a Pope Francis Catholic. Here's what he said about targeting Catholics.
Before I play it, I just want to say, Dom, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. I'm just putting it up there now, the video of Jeff Van Drew as well. So you can always see video over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Like and subscribe.
A clear sign of the rot is a memo where your agents, and I know you say you feel bad about this too, but nevertheless, and I don't think you like to talk about it, but your agents in a field office attempted to spy on Catholic churches and their congregations and frame them as extremists. This is unbelievable. How do we get there? Who exactly are the Catholics you're going to go after here, or they were going to go after? The charitable men of the Knights of Columbus that help their communities, that help charities, that help people in every way they can? Or maybe we meant the folks that are fighting for the sanctity of life? Or are you talking about those who hold true to their beliefs rooted in the traditional values and teachings of the Catholic faith? As a Roman Catholic myself, and I believe you are as well, I was deeply, deeply disturbed by this memo.
All right, you can stop it there, Dan. So the point that comes out of this, one of the biggest takeaways from this, the clock is ticking. This guy, Christopher Wray, told Jim Jordan, I'm not sure if Van Drew and a couple others, at some point you'll be able to interview. No, we're going to place them under oath. We're going to subpoena them. Who are the people in the Richmond field office that wanted to spy on traditional Catholics and apparently did? It doesn't matter what Ray did afterward, rescinding this order, and it doesn't all that. Yeah, nice. We want to hear these guys under oath. Now, I'm going to ask at 1:00. We got a great guest. We have Stephen Friend back with us. He's the author of My Journey from Beat Cop to Suspended FBI Whistleblower. Remember that guy? He's going to be here at 1:00. I'm going to ask him about that. How in the world are they going after Catholics? What the hell is going on in it? Well, where are the safeguards, and why would people think in any universe that's appropriate to officially act on that? Those guys did this months and months and months ago. They had to be dragged in there under oath for hours till we get to the bottom of why in the world they had that feeling they could do that that's what the FBI wanted. Where were the checks and balances? That was among the most startling things yesterday, the Catholic part. And more startling, do you hear big voices of the Catholic faith? Do you hear the Archbishop saying, yeah, I'm going to hold a news conference on this? Or whoever the head of the U.S. bishops is? No, nothing from these people. If they're afraid of the priest scandal and they feel they can't talk, then they have to be out too. Then you need other people that can talk. Who speaks for Catholics? Bill Donahue, the Catholic League, people like that, yeah. But he's not the head of the bishops. He's not the head of all these big city congregations. Where's Dolan? America's Pope, they call him. Where's he? Why are they not going after this and demanding from America's devout Catholic president, Joe Biden, that these people be brought in, the nation see it, step by step by step? I don't care about what they remedied or didn't remedy. How in the world would you go after this faith? If it were the Muslim faith, you can imagine, say it's the Trump years, it's a Muslim faith. Jeff Andrew joins 1 o'clock tomorrow to hear more about dentistry, pus, abscesses. I'll also ask him about the big event coming up on Saturday over in Ocean City and other spots along the Jersey Shore. 11 o'clock, hands across the beach, don't forget. All right, let me give you the side question. Now, it occurred to us yesterday, coming off Christopher Wray testifying. Courts, we've never done this before. People under oath testifying. We want to know your all-time favorite moment involving a court, either in the courtroom or somehow or another involving a court case, real or fictional. Real or fictional. I'll give you the real. Should be an obvious one I'm taking off the board. It's not Johnny Cochran says, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. No. It's OJ standing there with his hand only half inside that glove. Those dolts on the prosecution side, like that was going to fit. That glove was going to fit OJ. And I also take off the scene in A Few Good Men when Jack Nicholson admits it. He did order the code red. Wish he could have gotten after Tom Cruise there. All right, Dan, how about you?
Wasn't Dershowitz on the OJ team?
Yeah, he was on there for appeals.
I feel like that guy's really been everywhere.
Oh, well, he was the smartest guy they had. And, it was going to be if they needed to appeal. Yeah.
I'm really slow on my drops today. I can't find the Few Good Men drop.
Okay.
We have one, don't we?
Oh, yeah. We got at least one. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I can't find it today. I'm going to take off, Dom, the Liebeck versus McDonald's restaurants, the hot coffee case. It took over pop culture for a while. Which way did you stand on that one?
That woman was absolute. You're taking scalding coffee, putting it between your legs, then saying, I'm going to sue you for millions of dollars. That's the American.
Would you say this was your stance on the case?
I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Perfectly put. Ambulance chasers, coffee cup chasers. Now, I believe you're on the other side, though.
I am because I mean, looking back on it, I wasn't really going through it and didn't have an opinion at the time, but she had some really bad burns. Like it went through the flesh. It was pretty gross, and that coffee scalding that hot, that's dangerous. I mean, I don't know. It's
you put it between your legs. Coffee in the morning, you may have.
So you're saying that McDonald's didn't put it between her legs, so it's her fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
And then my cousin Vinny too. I'm going to take that off.
Oh yeah, the Utes.
Yeah, Utes.
Okay, 855-839-1210. Coming up, John Kerry, the most arrogant man alive. The most interesting man alive. The most non-interesting man alive, testifies today before Congress. And guess who sets him up beautifully? Wait until you hear this. The Dean of Decency, mocking those of us. How can we be critical of John Kerry? Oh, God. Montgomery County, you've lost your mind almost as much as Philadelphia, I'm telling you. All right, so we'll play some of that. Don't forget the side question. Give us that court moment.
Utes?
Yeah, 2 Utes.
What is a Ute?
Oh, excuse me, Your Honor. 2 youths.
All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board here on Talk Radio 1210.
Professor John Yoo, a constitutional scholar, when we're looking at national law enforcement, and you see so many of the same names. I mean, John Brennan, a CIA director, is briefing President Obama about the Hillary Clinton campaign's idea to use Russia collusion. He shows up on the Hunter Biden laptop letter. He shows up on MSNBC.
Dom Giordano's show. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. You got the side question today. By the way, great response to my top 10 TV shows. Nobody savaged me, but one person on Twitter says, "Oh, come on now. We need a top 10 in each TV category."
Oh, okay.
Oh, my goodness.
You down
This
for
is going to
that?
be, I have them, I think, but this is going to be a long process. He's got 8 categories down there now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Any previews of the categories?
Sure. Sitcoms, talk shows, sports show, drama, comedy.
I like this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm doing songs next. And that's going to cause even more of a outflow of stuff.
Somewhat contemporary songs too, right?
Yeah, somewhat contain. Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
going back to Bonanza and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Type of
Yankee Doodle Dandy. No.
Yeah, no, not that. All right, so 855-839-1210. Do we have the Dean of Decency, Dan?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I
So
forgot about
John Kerry, after yesterday's arrogance, testifying today, among other things, he was asked by Congressman Brian Mast about flying around in private jets. And he says, well, but I don't own a private jet. But you fly around in them all the time, and you're telling about climate. He said, I've never owned a private jet. How about the giant yacht that he has? I wonder what that doesn't burn anything up. I'm telling you, just when you think it can't be any worse, John Kerry's on the scene.
All right, I do have that for you.
All right, and he's being questioned, well, not exactly, being set up to attack everybody else by our darling here. One of the biggest hypocrites that's ever walked this area, the Dean of Decency, another Catholic, allegedly.
Decency.
Who made her money, she and the husband, with bicycle shenanigans in China. The Enquirer is the one that calls him out on that all the time, but it doesn't matter out there in Montgomery County. Listen to this line of question. You remember when the Dean of Decency got into it with Bill Barr?
Decency.
Oh, we got to go back.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
here's the Dean throwing some softballs to John Kerry.
Thoughts? Are you embracing some far left radical agenda?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to hang myself.
Even he's making fun of the question.
I think I am pursuing common sense for political right, political left, Republican, Democrat.
Oh, yes. Amazing. Just amazing. The Reek and her little fangirl with him. By the way, let me marry that with something. The Enquirer, Dan, as I predicted, has in their shore coverage of the wind farms and the protest. And here's the person the Enquirer dug out. Listen to this person's take on what's going on at the Jersey Shore on Saturday. Jessica Rittler Sanchez wrote them a letter about wind energy saying, taking advantage of nature's power sources simply makes sense. What may be seen from shore will add interest to an otherwise.
No.
Yes.
She's really.
Yes, I got it right here.
We found that guy.
Yes.
Well, that girl.
Yep. She says, seeing those windmills out there will add interest to an otherwise empty horizon. That's the whole idea, you moron. It's supposed to be
You
empty.
didn't know it's going to be a tourism draw. People are going to come from around the world to see these wind turbines.
It's going to be like the Rocky Steps.
Yeah.
Let's go and see the windmills. So we'll take boats out there.
They're going to come from Montana, Dom. They're going to fly here just to see the giant wind turbines.
And if they're lucky, some whales will be killed that day. It'll be an even bigger.
Did you hear about the beautiful view off the Cape May shore that has those wind turbines, they say, in Arizona?
Listen, oh my God, it is more. It will be like a freighter passing. She says, you know how when a freighter passes, it makes the scene more beautiful because we have some. No, the whole idea of the beauty of the scene to me is to look out there endlessly at the ocean. Then she ends by saying it might add additional interest during lightning storms too. Oh my God.
Taking bets on which one gets struck first?
Yes. And she finishes by saying, anyhow, extracting, processing, and transporting fossil fuels has done more damage than wind farm development possibly could. Oh, yeah, lady? We'll see. Putting skyscrapers into the ocean floor. Get in there now, crushing it in there. Can you imagine?
View, Dom? It's the view.
It's the view.
Yeah.
But you know what? I give this woman credit. She's not playing defense. She's playing offense. When we say, What about why we go to the beach, the whole thing associated? Oh, no, this is going to make it better
Yeah.
because you'll have something to see. Look at honey. Oh, look at
Dom,
the
you didn't know
windmills
there's a
today.
5-page spread in the upcoming Michelin travel guide
Yes,
dedicated to
to
the
the
windmills
windmills.
off of Cape May County.
Yes, they'll have women in bikinis. You know what? Have the Danes thought about that? Have the Swedish bikini team? Get the Danish team. They're a backup. Have them. That might be a promo. Have them out there. Have them out there at the windmills and take some candid shots of that. Take little kids out in Boy Scout uniforms. Have them stand there and saluting the windmill and saying, I got my merit badge. I love the windmills. I'm for climate.
Can we add this to the list of topics for the upcoming milk crate debate out at City Hall against Philadelphia Inquirer?
Oh, yeah, that's real. Yeah, I want Jessica Rittler Sanchez.
Yeah, she's got to be out there.
You know, I don't like the three names either. What can I do about that, though? Give me a break. You could have said it with Jessica Rittler and been bad enough. Like a freighter passing, it adds context and more beauty. Look at that freighter out there, Charlie. So little kids growing up, though, Dan, it's like when I went to New York and I was used to seeing the Twin Towers, and we went up there to do an event honoring people the days afterward, and how different it looked without the towers there. Well, these kids growing up now, soon, they'll never know a time they looked out there and they didn't see it.
It's so sad.
And she's saying, oh, Johnny, look at those wind. You are so lucky. Your generation has had that.
Windmills.
Those beautiful windmills all of your life.
Those giant things killing whales and dolphins.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Tom and Marlton. Oh, he's taking a good one. We couldn't take them all off. This is a great one. Hey, Tom, afternoon. What do you have?
Good afternoon, Dom. Hey, Dom, real quick. It makes you laugh. They can find everything under the sun on Trump, but yet, when it comes to Biden and there's so much stuff out there, nothing happens. How about the other day I was looking at something and didn't he get accused of doing something to somebody in the basement or something? Or was it Tara Reid? Is that it?
Yeah, Tara Reid. Yeah, that's been out there for the last, just when he started to run for president. Or there was the Latino woman who he sniffed the hair or inside the hair, the whole thing, if you remember. Oh, man, can you imagine this guy pawing you and sniffing? No, how about Eva Longoria holding the two hands and shaking nose? And she got him off her.
Yeah. And we just sweep it right under the carpet.
Yeah.
How about the Coke? We still can't find out who left the Coke, even though we do know who left the Coke.
It's amazing. In the summer, somebody would be wearing gloves, so there's no DNA or a fingerprint.
How are there no cameras that caught anything? There's got to be
yeah.
something. That's ridiculous.
They're going to have to drag the Secret Service in, and they'll say, I can't tell you anything about that. That's classified. Tom, who do you have?
And I have the great movie, Henry Fonda was tremendous in it, and a couple other good actors, actually, and it was the whole process, the 12 Angry Men.
That's a great one, without a doubt. There's several moments in there that are unbelievable. Even I start to think, though, Henry Fonda is a little bit too much here, I'm rooting for the other guy and the others. Lee J. Cobb. All right, Jesse Waters in the on-deck circle. He's coming up. We'll ask him what he thinks about his time change. And also, nothing to see here with the cocaine. Straight ahead, Talk Radio 1210. Dom Giordano Show, big issues, big guests. Philadelphia's favorite son goes even bigger. Jesse Waters with us here. Talk about his new show, New Time, here on Talk Radio 1210. Jesse, congratulations.
Thanks so much, Dom. I really appreciate it.
So I'm sure the question we get all the time, and I think I told my producer, Dan, the answer, we're not going to change one hair on the head of Jesse Waters for the 8 o'clock slot. Is that true?
Yeah, we're not going to change a thing. I'm incapable of changing. We're obviously just going to get better. We're going to do a little more enterprising reporting, more investigations, more ambushing, more man on the street. And so you'll look forward to that. But in terms of me, I'm the same guy.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, it's the formula of success. It's you. It's what you've done. How would you categorize what that you're thinking about that you won in the show that's been this successful?
So I was a producer. So I pay a lot of attention to the content, the banners, the sound, the elements, the timing. I'm really just trying to put on the best hour of television as I possibly can. It's not going to be boring. It's going to be exciting. And we're just going to have a lot of, in your face, fresh, original, brand new content that you haven't seen before with different angles, lots of opinion, facts, analysis, and entertainment. And I'm just trying to hit it out of the park every night for the audience.
Now, people forget that, because, your style, the dumb blonde on the beach, the people at Grand Central Station, asking them about 3 branches of government. I remember when you were doing Waters World exclusively, though, the ambush type of stuff. Was it that one judge in his garage, for example? I mean, there was some stuff that was very intense when you got involved.
Well, let's just correct the record here, Dom. The blondes were not dumb. They were just uninformed.
Put that underneath there. Right? That's very politically correct of you. Come on. But
be nice to the blondes,
yeah,
Dom. No, so, right. I can't go out and stake somebody out in Arkansas at 5 a.m. and confront them in their driveway. I can't be 2 places at once. We have a woman named Hillary Vaughn. She's married to our very own stupid son of a bitch, Peter Ducey in Washington, D.C.
Okay, yeah.
And she goes out and she hounds these Democrat politicians on Capitol Hill. You'll see her featured more prominently at 8 o'clock with us. She's very good.
Well, that is a change, though. I mean, that's a new that it's part of you, though. It's not something you're inventing. It's something you've already done, and you're just kind of coaching it now. But I think that's lacking even on Fox right now. I don't know of anybody else that's doing that on a regular basis.
When politicians used to get shamed and
Right.
the locals would stick a mic in their face, could have just been the local dog catcher. Doesn't matter. When you get put on blast in your community, whether it's local news or national cable, you're going to change your behavior. And we did that with judges that were giving soft sentences to child sex offenders. And if you do that to people in San Francisco, if you do it to people in Manhattan, do it to people all over the country, their behavior will change because they care about what people think of them. They're very concerned with public relations. They're very concerned with their own identity and their own brand. And if that brand takes a hit, meaning they just get humiliated getting coffee in the morning and can't answer the question and they look like a weasel, that's effective. And we're going to try to hit that hard.
That is, in my mind, quite a double play. It's effective, and let's face it, it's entertaining at the same time. The 2 big elements, without a doubt.
Right. So you'll see some more action on the streets, but that doesn't mean I'm taking Johnny off the beach.
Okay.
Johnny needs to be at the beach. And not only the beach, we sent him because I believe the infrastructure bill is spending $17 million on an anti-racist hiking trail.
Yeah.
So we've sent Johnny to the town that's getting the 17 million. And he asked the same question. He says, did you guys know that Joe Biden's giving you $17 million? And everyone says, yay! And Johnny says, well, it's for a hiking trail. And everyone goes, hello. And that's the last thing these towns need.
Well, I would expect we might see something. You guys might find out whose cocaine that is.
Well, we know it's either Hunter's or Ashley's. And here's my theory, Dom. The locker was the drop-off. It was just a drop box. Hunter's been living at the White House, we're told. And there's been a lot of controversy over the last, 5-6 weeks with Hunter with the plea deal.
Right.
So he's under a lot of pressure. And he's been at the White House. And the pressure's been swirling. And so he's back on the coke, but he can't go get the coke. He can't go take a car and ride out to D.C. and pick it up. He's got a guy. Everyone that does coke has a guy. The guy is using that locker as a drop. And so someone's escorting this guy in, or this guy is one of these insiders at the White House, and he's dropping it in the locker because the key was missing. This is one of those things when you pull the key out, you can't open it. So either the hookup has the key or Hunter still has the key. And we think it's in that little red backpack that he's always lugging around.
By the way, new interviews coming up. Are there dream interviews you want? The RFK was beautifully done. I mean, that was the best of TV, substantive, but a lot of fun too. The workout, female producers and all. Are there people that, I don't know, they wouldn't avoid you, but that you want to get on?
I want to get you, Dom.
That's impossible. That's impossible.
Giordano.
Well, that's not hard, Jesse.
Watch it there, Dan. Come on now. I've been in bigger shows. Well, no.
You say jump, he'll jump. Come on now.
Well, I've been on the 8 o'clock show 4 or 5 times. I was once grilled by O'Reilly, Jesse, because he couldn't get at the governor. And I happened to do a show with the governor, so he attacked me. You wouldn't do that.
No, I would never act like O'Reilly. Gutfeld's always saying my gesticulations are a carbon copy of Bill. I don't see it.
When you get started, when you get going, yeah, you're calm. But when you get going, yeah, I do see some of that in there. 12th anniversary of The Five, too, which is just one of the most amazing shows that's ever been put on TV, how that works. And it seems so easy, but it takes chemistry.
It's got great chemistry. Gutfeld and Dane have been on it for 12. I don't know how many years I've been on it. But I told Greg, that could end in a second. You could get fired. So just appreciate where you are. And with Greg's new schedule, he's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still on the 5, going to be at 8, but still on the 5. And we just got Harold Ford Jr., who's the perfect gentleman, and Judge Janine Pirro, the ultimate spark plug. And that show just works.
Without a doubt. My producer had a question.
Yeah, I just have a question because I'm sensing Dom and I have a relationship outside the show. It's pretty genuine. We're friendly, and it really seems that you and Greg kind of have that relationship. Are you guys drinking buddies? Do you guys catch sports games
I
together?
can't see that.
Or...
I don't know what you're
you
talking
can't see
about.
that? I can see Jesse and Greg being good friends behind the scenes.
You know that guy in grade school who your mom wouldn't let you hang out with? That's Greg. I'm not allowed to hang out with him off campus. No, Greg and I have rarely hung out, not because I don't want to, just we haven't had the opportunity. And he's a curmudgeon. He doesn't get out much. And he doesn't have any kids. I got a different lifestyle, but I love Greg. I wish I hung out with Greg more. I'm not sure my wife would want me hanging out with Greg more, but that is what it is.
Parting question. Are we going to see Jesse's mom in any new role here? We got to see that.
That's the executives keep asking me that question. Should I have her on?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll have her phone in. She doesn't want to show her face. And I'm a little worried about putting her on live.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I want to see it. Like I'm just a low-level producer here, but I mean, Jesse, one of the greatest things about your show is the relatability aspect, the fact that you kind of bring us inside your life, and I really do hope that continues through the prime time. Like the text from mom aspect of the show, it's such a great aspect of it. So please do continue that.
You know what? Only because you asked. I'm putting my mom on.
Yes, all right. Yes.
We'll chalk that one up when we see it this coming Monday night and every night at 8 o'clock. Thanks for always remembering Philadelphia, too, Jesse. Hope to see you here soon.
All right, go Eagles. Love you guys.
Thanks, Jesse. Take care. All right, Jesse Waters. Write that one down, Dan. I guess I could go on that show occasionally.
I'm putting that on my resume.
Yeah, I've been on the 8 o'clock show with Tucker, mainly with O'Reilly. And O'Reilly did attack me because I did the Tom Corbett show, and Tom Corbett wouldn't come on with him. All right, so he keeps on saying the show is not going to be different. Guess what? He just told us it's going to. I love the ambush type of stuff. I love the, maybe I have to, since you won't come on the show again. Madeline Dean and I did talk about potholes once, Dan, and it got kind of testy. I forget why, but it's the only time she's been on.
On potholes.
Potholes.
Even
Yeah.
on potholes, you couldn't agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you would think that'd be simple. Like, yeah, let's fix them. Okay, we agree.
Yeah, well, you're not doing anything many hours of the day. You could stake out Madeline Dean and ask a few questions. Just say you're from the Dom Giordano show.
Yeah, I'm
How
sure.
about that? No,
well.
you're
Yeah.
thinking Larry Krasner has to be the. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. You get on board. Now, that is a real add-on to what Jesse Waters was doing at 7. I realized the hole there and the antagonism because of Tucker Carlson. By the way, Fox is being sued by Ray Epps. And, the media predicting this will be like the Dominion case, and they'll be hit for millions and millions and millions of dollars. We'll see. But Tucker Carlson and what's happened here has really messed up Fox. Simple question, are you going to watch on Monday night? Are you going to see what Waters does? He was the perfect choice to put in there, given how dire it is for Fox. They really broken faith with the audience in some ways with the Carlson thing. And people are sensing that. I can't imagine you're going to Newsmax. I just don't see it. So is Waters somebody you would say, all right, I want to see Tucker Carlson. But there's a lot that Jesse Waters does. And you heard what he's planning on doing. Peter Ducey's wife will be one of the principals here engaging in I'm sure AOC. Now, AOC, Dan, will do an interview on that. She'll go back and forth with you. I'd like to see Tlaib or Omar or Nancy Pelosi. Pretty hard to get Nancy Pelosi out there outside her bubble, though. All right, 855-839-1210.
This is not the truth.
Hit us on the side question today. That moment, real or fictional, courtroom based, we were thinking about that yesterday when watching Christopher Wray. 855-839-1210. Let's talk here about my friend John Gilgy and Rhino Shield. All right, we tell you every day. John has reached out to my listeners with a special offer. Book now and get 20% off your job. If you've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to beautify your home with a permanent solution to paint, this is it. Rhino Shield looks like paint, goes on like paint. It never chips, cracks, or fades. It's ceramic coating. It's guaranteed for life. You never have to paint again. I'm impressed with both the product and the company. It's perfect for any surface. You get the beauty of fresh paint, the maintenance of vinyl, even insulate your home. And for a project as important as this, you want to work with someone you can trust. That's why I'm happy to recommend John Gilkey, the local owner of Rhino Shield. He'll meet with you himself, fully explain the process. He's helped many listeners just like you upgrade the look and quality of their home. Call him right now. Take advantage of this 20% off offer just for my listeners. Visit myrhinoshield.com or call 844-RHINO-99, 844-RHINO-99.
I ain't talking politics, I'm talking small town. And if you're from one, you know what I'm talking about.
Welcome in, Dom Giordano Show. Side question today, something courtroom, court case related. The Dean of Decency, Dan, we played what she said, the softballs thrown to John Kerry. Then she went on to say, if anybody thinks it's radical to care about this protection of the planet, sign me up. It reminds me of Martin Luther King in the letter from Birmingham jail when he was called a radical and an extremist. He said, wasn't Jesus a radical for love? So I embrace the term radical whenever I'm attacked that way when I'm focused on something so worthy. All right? Yeah, lady, like making cockamamie bicycles with what the Inquirer thinks is suspect labor in China. You're a radical for that. That's a radical for love. Your position on abortion, that's a radical position for love.
I think at some point someone called you that you were carrying a far left radical agenda. I have to admit to you, if anybody thinks it is radical to care about the protection of this planet for future generations, sign me up. It reminds me of Martin Luther King in the letter from Birmingham jail when he was called a radical and an extremist. He said, wasn't Jesus a radical for love? So I embrace the term radical whenever I'm attacked that way, when I'm focused on something so worthy.
You just, now, new listeners, Dan, all the time. Why the Dean of Decency? Because this
Decency.
ultimate hypocrite from the suburbs, when she ran the first time, that's after the pothole debate with me. When she ran the first time, she said a guy came in this raging rainstorm, didn't have an umbrella. He said he went all the way through that wet, etc. And he came to her and said one word, decency. Go to Congress and restore decency, meaning Trump is indecent, you're decent. Decency. You just can't write this level of hypocrisy and stupidity. Okay? We have it all here. Yet, she's in favor, along with Mary Gay Scanlon of the carjacking Scanlons. She's in favor of the Ukrainians getting all the cluster bombs they can use. Gee, why did 100 countries sign off decrying that use of cluster bombs? Well, you see, this is a radical act of cluster bomb love here from the Dean of Decency. John Kerry, after how many of these hypocrites can they roll out? Christopher Wray yesterday, John Kerry today. I never owned a private jet. My corporation did. I don't know if DiCaprio will be testifying sometime soon on climate. They just can't get enough of it. That's why we need a big victory here, a slow, grudging victory, inch by inch. We have to beat them for those windmills, not just for the sake of the sea, the animals, protecting all that, and our version of the Jersey Shore, just to beat the hell out of them on this stupid climate stuff. That they will overrun anything, this thuggery going on at the Jersey Shore. So don't forget, this Saturday, if you happen to be down there, Ocean City, 11 a.m., want to have a nice crowd out there, 14th Street. They'll be doing it, the mayor and others. And want to send a message that people have had it with this type of nonsense. And the Inquirer having this woman say, oh, no, this will be positive. When you look out to the, picture this now. You look out to the ocean, you see these giant skyscrapers. The ones I think of are just ugly beyond belief. Ro and I see it on the way going over to Andres. It destroys Andres a little bit, seeing them headed over to Brigantine. And the woman in the Inquirer saying, no, this makes it more beautiful. It's like a passing freighter. They're not passing. They're Empire State Building, World Trade Centers of windmills, defying everything imaginable with these cockamamie progressive schemes. Okay, coming up.
Hey, before we get out of there.
Yes.
Can I force this on you? This
Sure.
is Madeline Dean and Bill Barr.
Yeah. Let's go back. Former Attorney General Bill Barr.
Between chemical compounds and naturally occurring substances.
Attorney General, reclaiming my time. There are rules by which we operate here. I would ask you to respect them.
You just hypocritical.
Take a look at the screen. I've placed on this screen for reference, as you are aware, how your department describes pepper balls used on Americans in Lafayette
The
Square.
video is great also.
A 2009 Justice report noted that the pepper ball, quote, system's accuracy and accompanying blunt trauma impact made it an ideal chemical dispensing system. So while you, in a quote, said it's not chemical, you today confirm it is chemical, and you're aware of your department's policy, are you not?
What policy?
The one I've just provided to you.
What does it say? What's the policy?
Well, I showed it to you. Finally, whether or not you authorized it at the time, perhaps you weren't listening.
I didn't see the policy.
Decency.
What was the policy
Clearly you
in
weren't
there?
listening. Fine. Whether or not you authorized the use of pepper balls.
You know the voice in the beginning, that school, typical suburban progressive,
Decency.
Unbelievable. All right, coming up, we're going to talk with Stephen Friend, his book, My Journey from Beat Cop to Suspended FBI Whistleblower. See what he thinks about the testimony of Christopher Wray. We got the side question going on. Get in at 855-839-1210.